One. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Rush Roots. Today we have Cathy Rankin, singer, musician, actor, actress, let's say, host, model, wears a variety of caps.
Actually, you were correct. You were correct in saying actor. There's really not, you're not supposed to use the term actress because all actors were, back in the Shakespeare days, actors, the males played both male and female roles. So
true. Yep.
Okay.
Kind of a little tidbit there.
Cool. All right. Well, today we're going to get to learn all about, and Rush fans. So add that to the list, right? So get to learn all about your Rush roots. So go ahead, Jim.
All right. So Cathy, why don't you tell us how you heard about Rush? What got you into the band and what keeps you around?
Okay. So I'll try not to bore you, but I have 3 older siblings. I have 2 sisters and a brother. And growing up, my brother couldn't stand me because I was the annoying baby of the family. So we used to fight all the time. And my mom, when he was in high school and he was just going into high school and I was in grade school, and our schools were across the street from each other. So my mom started making him drive me to school every day, which he hated. So he had this really cool Jeep that he would take the top off so that, it would mess up my hair. And he would blast really hard rock music. Cause at the time it's funny, he's not into that kind of music now, but at the time he was in high school. And so he would blast this music and just to make me mad, because I was like this little goody two shoes growing up. And that kind of music, like he liked AC/DC and he was into Rush, and those bands kind of scared me. I was kind of this little, like I said, a goody two shoes. So he would blast it. And there was this female crossing guard, this old lady, and he would blaze through the school zone blasting Tom Sawyer. And every day she'd come out and shake her fist, and I'd be crouched down in the back of the Jeep. And I'd be covering my ears, but secretly, it was always Tom Sawyer. That's what he was always blasting. And secretly, I loved it. And that's how I got hooked. So I really started to get kind of into the Moving Pictures album. And then as I got a couple years older and I was in high school, that's when I started going back and discovering, 2112 and other things, other albums. And so that's how I got hooked. I was completely hooked. And then I became fanatical.
Yeah. Well, as we all
do.
Right. So that's really funny because my brother would not ride with me to school because my car wasn't cool enough. So that's I totally understand your story.
Yeah.
Well, why don't you tell us your first tour? If you remember the date or the month of the tour itself, I'm sure, in the city. Where'd you go see him first?
So, let's see. So in high school, as I was getting more into him, that's when, I think that's when Time Stands Still came out.
Okay.
And I brought props, you guys.
I
am one of those people that saves all my ticket stubs. And so
awesome.
Rush.
I wish I did.
Yeah. It's crazy when you look back at like the prices and stuff. But so.
Oh, for sure.
This was my very first concert. If you can see that.
Here, put it a little bit closer to the camera. There we go.
So it was at Veterans Memorial Coliseum.
Yeah.
And that is in Phoenix, Arizona. And the ticket was $17. And I was in the nosebleeds, and the date is February 1st, 1988. So I think it was the Hold Your Fire.
Yeah, that was Hold Your Fire tour.
Yep.
And I think the reason I went, I loved Time Stand Still, and I liked the album, but Force 10 was still to this day is one of my favorite songs. So I just really wanted to see them play that live. And by this time I was a really huge Getty fan because I'm a singer. I was really into Getty, and I'll never forget going to that show. I went by myself. So I tried to get one of my friends to go with me, and all my girlfriends were like, who? So I literally couldn't find anybody to go with me. And so I went to that Rush concert by myself.
Wow, that's awesome that you went, and Yeah, props
That's
for going by
dedication,
yourself
you guys.
too.
That's
That
so
is
respectable. Yeah,
dedication.
absolutely.
For sure. Yeah. And you know, that Hold Your Fire it was such a great tour. And like you mentioned Force 10, hearing Force 10 being performed live, even though the Hold Your Fire album I thought was recorded really well, that was really, really powerful live, like
Yeah,
insanely powerful.
yeah,
I was
yeah.
reading today that 6 of the 10 songs from Hold Your Fire were played live on that tour, and then only 3 carried on past that
Carried
tour.
further.
Force
Oh,
10
Yeah,
times Stand
interesting.
Still and Mission.
because
Yeah.
I guess they didn't play Taishan High Water, and I don't remember what else.
Open
Was
Secrets
it
and
you?
Second Nature.
It was
Yeah,
too
was
long
it
ago.
you guys that did? I think I watched something you guys did on a Taishan High Water discussion,
Yeah, that was one of our Rush roundtables
which
fairly
was
recently.
actually
Mhm.
really interesting. It made me
Yeah.
go back and re-listen to those songs, and it was kind of cool to hear the different perspectives that people had on those songs.
Yeah.
That's so awesome that you
Great
say that,
tunes,
because
man.
that's why we do it. You know, that's
Yeah.
like
It
that's what we
was really
want.
cool.
That's what we want
Yeah,
people to
that's
do,
awesome.
is go back and give these underappreciated songs more love. You know, so that's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, and well, you guys are accomplishing it because, there was, I think through, after the 80s, when they got into some of the 90s stuff and it got real heavy synthy and they just sort of went a different direction. I wasn't as into some of those albums. And so it's good that you guys, people like you, do these kind of podcasts, because then you go back and you hear other people give really interesting opinions, and then it makes you go listen,
Yeah.
discover it all over again.
Yeah, for
Well,
sure.
we're up to Presto right now,
For
so
sure.
we'll get to those 90s albums soon, and yeah, hopefully
Oh yeah. Right
it
around the
brings
corner.
more eyes to. Yeah.
Isn't that one of their most hated albums, Presto? Did I
Yeah,
hear that?
Yeah.
to a degree. Like the sound quality is the
Yeah.
gripe, really. The tinny sound, and I think
Yeah.
lyrically, and I think that type of
Lyrically, it's
stuff,
great.
people
Great.
enjoy it. Yeah, there's songs that resonate with a lot of people. The
Yeah.
Past, Presto, Available Light, but I think it's just the sound of it. But
Yeah,
all
that's true.
right, so my next question is to kind of learn how your Rush preferences have evolved over time. So the first question is, well, it's a two-part question, I guess. So what was your first, and you kind of covered this already, but what was your first favorite Rush song and first favorite Rush album, compared to what would you say your favorite Rush song or album, or maybe plural, because now that, bigger Rush fans, what would you say that would be nowadays?
That's a good question. So obviously Moving Pictures was my entry into Rush, and there's just not a bad song on that album. I mean, it's so good. But obviously it's their more popular and more commercial stuff, which I love. And I will say that while everybody loves, the real radio friendly songs, I loved Camera Eye, was one of my favorite songs, still to this day. Like, even on the R40 tour, when they played that, I went nuts. So I would say when I first got into Rush, I kind of was like everybody, where I liked the more commercially popular radio friendly stuff. I don't think over time that really changed for me. And not that I don't love Moving Pictures, killer album, but I would not put it in my top 3 now. And I know that's kind of crazy to say. When I went back and listened, I mean, just 2112 and Permanent Waves to me those are probably my 2 favorite albums. So I think I really got into older Rush, and like Hemispheres. It wasn't until the last 5 years that I really, really appreciated how great Hemispheres was. So I think over time, I just really discovered that my favorite Rush stuff is the less commercial stuff. I liked
Okay.
when they were, yeah.
Cool.
I
Yeah.
think I'm the same way. I
Yeah.
think yeah.
But
Cool.
it's like so hard with Rush, because you can listen to them over and over and over, and you just always find something new. And,
Yep.
you know, one day you're raving about this album and the next day you're
Oh,
raving
yeah.
about this album. It's like trying to pick your favorite kid. You know, if it's Rush, I
the guy
love
that we
it.
just had on said the same exact thing right before you were
Yeah,
here.
it's
Right.
true.
Yep.
If
It's
it's Rush, I'm gonna
true.
automatically like it because I just, you know, I think that's what sets them apart. Anything they do is just automatically good because they're just so good at their craft. So there's nothing
Yeah.
really, when I say most hated, I shouldn't say that. It's just maybe the least liked albums, but you're starting from a bar that's already so high.
Oh yeah.
All right. Well,
Yeah, for
speaking of
sure.
that, I actually have a question that I just decided to throw in here at episode
Uh-oh.
50 and going forward. So I thought of this today and I thought it'd be cool to ask. So rapid fire, real quick, personal preference for you, rate Test for Echo on a scale of 1 to 10, how much you like it. Because it's often considered, it's an album that we really appreciate on Rush Fans and Rush Roundtable, but it's often considered a record that is not liked.
And I'm probably gonna say, yeah, I'm in that camp. It's not my favorite, so I'll maybe give it a 6. But
Okay.
that's why I want to go. I do have a deep dive on that because I think I'm gonna
Ooh.
go. I think I want to go. That's one of the albums I've been wanting to make because I haven't listened to it in a long time. And that's one of the ones that I want to go back and really dig into and maybe listen to a round table or a podcast on it, just to hear different opinions and perspectives. So maybe I'll look at it a different way. But it's one that I need to listen to more to really see what it is that I do or don't like about it.
Well, I'm gonna
Sounds good.
plug one of our deep dives real quick, and not because I want to plug the deep
No, do
dive, but
it.
because I want to. We did a deep dive on Test for Echo in our deep dive series. We had Donna Halper on. She did, I think she talked about Totem. I was on it, and two of our other buddies. This is a year and a half ago or so.
Okay.
But it was the deep dive from that series that so many people turned around on Test for Echo. Like they left comments like, hey, you know, this deep dive was really opened my eyes on this record and really made me appreciate this record more than I ever did. So I'll send you that, you know, in a
Awesome.
DM after. But yeah, and
Yeah.
not because I want to plug it, but because I want people to go back and watch that one because I'm the most proud of that one.
Yeah, no, do
and-
it because
Yeah.
like I said, I really want to dig into it more. And
Yeah.
I think sometimes that's what I love about Rush fans. I think when you hear what other Rush fans get out of it and how they see the songs and the lyrics and what they pick up on with their ears, I think it does change how you listen to the albums, I think. So I want to see that deep.
Certainly does, yeah.
Yeah, it really does. Cool. Awesome. Well, why don't you tell people where they can find you on social media if they want to get to know you as a Rush fan?
Okay, so I'm a geek. So my Instagram handle is @RushFanatic. I know. Total nerd.
That's great.
So @RushFanatic is my you guys, I wanted to show you this. I have a
look at that.
Oh, cool.
It's a custom made ring. Yeah. So I really am a Rush nerd.
Wow. That's awesome.
So Instagram is the easiest way to follow me @RushFanatic. I have a YouTube channel, and it's just if you Google Cathy Rankin or Cathy Rankin Entertainment, that comes up. And then on Facebook, I have a public page under Cathy Rankin Entertainment also.
Cool.
Okay, last question.
That's great.
Anything else you want to share? Anything else you want to plug? Anything else you want to get out there?
Well, I will say, and actually you guys would be interested in this. I just co-hosted the Metal Hall of Fame Awards, and there were, if you like progressive rock, and I mean, there's some heavier stuff, you know, there's some thrash metal like Raven, and but they just inducted Raven, Twisted Sister, Lou Graham, that was amazing. I handed him his award, and that was,
oh my God. Wow.
But go check that out. I've been posting little summaries of all the inductees and pictures and some little video clips. It was a really awesome ceremony. And I just want to say they inducted Neil into the Heavy Metal Hall of Fame.
Oh, wow.
I think it was in 2019, maybe.
Okay.
So I think you can find, I didn't host it that year. I came in the year after, unfortunately, but I think you can find it on like Amazon Prime or something, but yeah, so Neil is actually in there, and I want to say maybe it was his sister, somebody came and accepted the award on his behalf. So
Oh, wow.
yeah, that was really cool.
That is very
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, so
Maybe-
your fans,
yeah.
yeah, your fans
Nancy,
might.
maybe.
Yeah, I think so. I
Yeah,
think it
yeah.
was.
Cool.
Awesome.
Good stuff.
Awesome.
Well, Cathy, thanks for sharing your Rush roots. This was awesome. It was good to get to know
Yes.
you and learn about
This
you as a
was
Rush
really
fan.
fun.
Anyone out there that's watching this that wants to share their Rush roots, feel free to just email us rushfans@rushfans.net. Very, very simple, and we'll get back to you and we'll have you on the show. So with that, we will wrap. Cathy, thanks again, and take care, everybody.
Thank you. It was great meeting you guys, and I'll text you after I listen to the test for echo.
Sounds good.
Awesome.
All right.
All right, keep in touch, guys.
All
Oh, you
righty.
bet.
Bye-bye.
Bye.